Welcome to the Rink Report presented by Telhio Credit Union. I'm Dylan Tyre here with you ahead of tonight's game between the Blue Jackets and the New York Islanders presented by Nationwide, recognizing agency of the game Norman Spencer. The Blue Jackets back home at Nationwide Arena after spending the last 3 games on the road. They started things off with a loss against the Pittsburgh Penguins last Tuesday before playing back-to-back games in Winnipeg and Minnesota. Both of those games very hard fought, very emotional, but the Blue Jackets fell in overtime both to the Winnipeg Jets and the Minnesota Wild. That game against the Wild, extremely physical, and unfortunately for the Blue Jackets, all-star defenseman Zach Werenski took a high hit in the first period. He was unavailable for the rest of that game. That's the case tonight against the Islanders. Zach Werenski out of the Blue Jackets lineup. But in that game against the Wild, tons of Blue Jackets defensemen stepped up, playing more minutes on the blue line, and Vladislav Gavrikov says he's very proud of their effort.
It's like bigger opportunity for us anyway, but yeah, like as you said, that's a big loss for us because Z running first power play unit and like he play a lot. But yeah, for us it's like big challenge how we can play about that pressure. So yeah, it's kind of good for our group of guys to see how we can step up in that situation.
Just over a week ago was the NHL trade deadline that saw the Blue Jackets make one move, sending veteran forward Max Domi to the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for prospect defenseman Aiden Hershuk. Aiden just finished up his freshman season at Boston College, and right now it's time to get to know the newest Blue Jackets prospect. Welcome to the Blue Jackets organization. I'm sure our fans are eager to get to know you, and I'm obviously happy and excited to get to know you as well. For Blue Jackets fans that are unfamiliar with you, and I'm sure there are plenty of them, can you just kind of talk about yourself as a player and describe your game?
Yeah, my game is probably two-way defenseman, plays hard for maybe being a little undersized, can jump in the rush, but I think a lot of times just using my skating and my stick to defend and make a good first pass.
So what are your feelings on being a part of the Blue Jackets organization right now? It's obviously a younger team. There's a ton of defensive depth in the prospect pipeline now. So does that excite you?
Oh, yeah, definitely excites me. I think especially for me, just having a team have the ability to go in and trade for you. Obviously, they think highly of you. And I think the way that they're building a team, obviously they're going young right now and have a really bright future. So for me, I really want to just keep working here at BC and get to that level so I can be a part of it.
Tell me about some of the things you were working on this season. When you got to Boston College, what were some of the areas of your game that you wanted to shore up, and did that change at all as the season went on?
Yeah, I think the first thing I wanted to do was obviously just get a role on the team, establish myself, prove myself, and get the trust of the coaches. And I think I got an opportunity right away, and I did a pretty good job of that. We had some incredible defensemen, and I got to kind of learn behind older guys. And I think just personally, like the minutes I got were good. And I think I really stepped up my defensive game and, did a ton of video. And we have, Brendan Buckley and Brooks Orpik who work with the D, who are both BC guys, both had long pro careers, and just being able to work with them on little details on the ice, video review. I think it's something for me that is, it's just so valuable for me. And I think any young player to get that kind of experience and get that teaching. So I think just my overall game has taken a step and obviously set me up for next season to come back and have an even better year.
Now, as we shift focus to tonight's game between the Blue Jackets and the Islanders, the Blue Jackets going into this one facing a little adversity. They're going to be without 2 of their coaches, and head coach Brad Larson and assistant Steve McCarthy. Both of those guys entered the NHL's COVID-19 protocol earlier today. And for more on this matchup with New York are Bob McElligott and Jean-Luc Grandpierre.
Yes, Brad Larson and Steve McCarthy are both out of this game tonight. Jean-Luc, you lose your head coach. Is it really a big deal? And I don't mean that like he's not an important guy, but Pascal Vincent has been an assistant all year long. He's just going to go a couple of steps to his right, to the middle of the bench, and run the bench. From a player's standpoint, what kind of change is there for them?
I'm not sure exactly. I've never had that situation where 2 of the main coach are gone. So, yes, for Pascal Vincent, the associate coach, and I think he's going to run things the same way that Brad Larson would. The only difference is now you're going to have Jared Bull running the defenseman, and Ken McCutton is going to be assisting Pascal Vincent with the forward. So The biggest difference is going to be the matchups. As the game's developing, the line's already set pretty much. You make some adjustment on the fly, but the matchups and really gauging the players' energy, etc., that's probably the main difference. But as far as system, everything's going to be the same.
The Blue Jackets are coming off 2 games, one in Winnipeg on Friday, one in Minnesota on Saturday, where they had to play very tough. They got overtime losses in each one of those games. But I want to ask you, what growth have you seen in this team when it comes to playing some of the bigger, tougher, nastier teams in the NHL?
Lots of growth, and when I watched that game against Minnesota, I was quite impressed. Yes, they lose it, but they put it all out there. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was a little worried going into Winnipeg and then Minnesota on the back-to-back, and you're playing 2 of the heaviest team in the NHL. And to really come out of both these games in overtime with a loss, yes, you'd like to win these games, but if you look at the size of this Columbus Blue Jackets team, the age of this Blue Jackets team, and the situation they had to face, 2 points a big, big win.
Well, it wasn't all good news because Zach Werenski got hurt in the game on Saturday. He's out again tonight. Your top defenseman who burns up about 30 minutes a game.
Yes, he burns 30 minutes a game, but now you have Andrew Peak that's doing the 25-26. Jake Bean played really well. And then last but not least, Vladislav Gavrikov, who played 26 minutes, I believe, last game. So these guys are going to log some big minutes, and then Adam Boquist back in the lineup after taking that break in Minnesota.
All right, let's talk about the New York Islanders. The 2 teams have split the season series to this point. Blue Jackets lost on Long Island just a couple of weeks ago. This is a team where you will get only a certain amount of opportunities to score goals. Not very many. When you do, you have to find a way to do it. And for the Islanders, their top 2 guys, Anders Lee, Brock Nelson, they were big in the last matchup between these 2 teams. I would imagine they could be big tonight.
Yeah, these guys combined for 4 goals last time the Blue Jackets faced them. It's going to be the same thing tonight for the Blue Jackets. They're a team that likes to shut the middle of the ice down, and it's almost boring to watch sometimes, but somehow it worked. Didn't quite work earlier in the season for them, but since they played the Blue Jackets, I believe they're 7-3-1. So they're on a roll right now playing their old brand of hockey.
Yeah, remember, this is a team that was in the Eastern Conference Final last year. This year has been kind of a tough season all around, injuries and ineffectiveness. But that's the way we see it. For Jean-Luc Grandpierre, I'm Bob McElligott. Dylan, back to you.
Thanks again to Bob McElligott and Jean-Luc Grandpierre. That'll do it for tonight's edition of the Rink Report presented by Telhio Credit Union. I'm Dylan Tyre saying enjoy the game.